Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to talk to you about retirement, and I think I can now speak like an expert. I've been at it for a pretty long period of time. So, first of all, retirement means freedom. For an employee, it means you don't have to go physically to any place or things like that. And for a professional also, if he was working from an office, he need not go to that office. He may still keep that office. He may still go twice a day, twice a week. That's a different thing, but he has a choice of not having to go, which means all your decisions about the work which I do, or all the decisions which about work which you do, means you can choose with whom to work, how much to work, in which form to work, whether to work at all, whether to work in which location. All these decisions are now yours. You're not forced to, you're not now earning to pay an EMI or something like that. So you're not forced to work. For example, I don't like doing online training, right? So when somebody comes to me and says we have this session which has to be done online, I'm not too keen. My pushback is I would prefer doing it live, because it's very difficult to do a 1 hour session online. I mean, just talking into the camera for 1 hour, just hearing my own voice, not even being able to see how the people are reacting. It's too painful. I'm not, so I can choose that I don't want to do that kind of work. Nothing right or wrong. Lots of people are doing. I myself, I realize that if I do a online session, people from Siliguri or Shillong or Srinagar, all of them can attend. So it has its advantages, but I don't like to do long sessions. So that's my choice, right? I have made it. So retirement tells you what you want to do, how you want to do. All that choice is yours. You can choose to do nothing. That choice is also yours. Second, it completely becomes your responsibility to fill in your day, what you want to do. You want to watch 3 Netflix movies in a day, so be it, do it. Maybe you'll get bored and come out of it. Maybe you decide that you will read 30 pages a day. Here, you created a library to use it, right? Or you learn music, something like that, anything. I mean, you want to travel, you want to mentor, right? All those things. Typical Vanaprastha stage. Vanaprastha stage is not about just going to the forest. It's also about mentoring. Mentoring is a very important part of Hindu philosophy. Vanaprastha, you're expected to do mentoring. So you can do mentoring, you can do whatever you want, but it is your job to fill up the day and not just get bored sitting at home, because many people do that. So to me, the clearest sign of a failed retirement is a type A personality who can't sit quietly in a place. His hands are fidgeting. He's got to look at his WhatsApp. He's got to do something. He's got to feel active. Okay, because in your childhood, you've been told by your parents, don't just sit there doing nothing. Do something, right? And that's the worst advice that your parents could have given you, completely from your portfolio point of view. Because in your portfolio, my advice is very simple: don't just sit there doing something, do nothing, right? Exactly the reverse. But that's how your portfolio works. But again, it's your retirement, so you have to take a call. But largely, you have to find out how you're going to fill up your day. That's the call that you have to take. So the failed retirement is largely people who just don't know what to do. They've not developed any hobbies. They've not done anything. So in your 50s, you need to develop some hobby, something which you like to do, right? Also, I think you should look at 2 mentors. Mentor is too big a word. Somebody whom you look up to and see how they are working in retirement. So somebody should be 10-15 years elder to you. Somebody should be maybe, so you could start with 20, 15 and 10, because 20 would be a person completely different lifestyle, etc., and from a different era. So he or she may not be well off enough to do some of the things. They may be, but the question is, at 82, is that person traveling? How is he traveling? How is she traveling, right? Knowing all that and saying, okay, I am now 50. I am happy to see how a 70-year-old is behaving, how a 60-year-old is behaving, and how a 55-year-old is behaving, so that I know what I should do and what I should not do, right? So maybe that person has taken to some sport and you're not interested. Maybe you will take to music. Maybe you'll join a gym, but you're not going to build bodies. You're at maintenance level. So you go to a senior trainer and say, look, I just want to be fit. I don't want to build muscle like these young boys are. So your goals are so different. Understand all that, fill that up in your day, Ask the people who have gone before you and find out what they have done, see what has worked for them, see what will work for you, right? I'm going to use a word called perennial, which is like millennial, but it does not put a, how you think of your life in terms of what you feel and what you do rather than what is your age. I mean, you could be 50 feeling like I saw one nice definition. If you are 60, you look like and feel like maybe you look like 50 and you feel like 30, right? So the question is, perennial does not put a date to your birth, it or does not classify you on the basis of when you were born, but it classifies you on how you feel, right? So adopt a perennial mindset. I've seen people, I've seen a 70-year-old who took to cycling on his 70th birthday along with younger friends who are 22, 23, 25, 30. So in a cycling group, that's very nice thing to do, right? Pull a guy who is otherwise reasonably fit to say, come, let's do 70 kilometers on your 70th birthday. So 60 kilometers on your 60th birthday, right? So some of these things can be done. So find out how to do it. Keep your spouse in mind. If your spouse enjoys something which you don't, and you enjoy something which your wife doesn't, do one such activity just for her, not because you enjoy it. Maybe she sings and you can't. Listen to her sing, whatever she is singing. Maybe you don't understand. Maybe make an attempt to understand. Oh, I don't understand Carnatic music. Can't be the truth, right? You can attempt if your wife is interested in Carnatic music, or your wife, you love travel, your wife loves travel, or your wife is indifferent to travel, but she loves gods. So maybe make a travel to the temples of South India, temples of North India, just temples of India, whatever, right? So make some of those changes in your life. Make sure you do one thing in a week, at least 2 things, I mean same thing maybe, just for your spouse. So if you're a man, do it for your wife. If you're a woman, do it for your husband. Learn small skills, right? Don't see some chef programs and think that vegetables have to be cut very beautifully, very nice and very fast. You don't need to, right? The chef is trying to show off what he knows. You are trying to cook a meal for 2 people, maybe 3, right? So you can do it pretty leisurely. You want to have lunch at 1 o'clock or 1:30, you can start cooking at 11 and complete it by 12:30. Your wife may have finished it by 11:30, but that's okay. She's more efficient. She's been doing it for a long time. You're learning to cut vegetables. You're learning which vessel should I use for cooking what, right? What proportion of water to rice, or whatever, all those things you keep learning. So keep learning something, whatever you want to learn, something which is useful around the house, right? So if you have not done anything so far, so start doing that, right? Decide what is having fun for you, right? And start doing it. Don't wait for, oh, I will wait after I'm 62, I will do, after I'm 63, I will do, after my daughter's marriage, I will do. No, don't keep postponing things. After your daughter's marriage, do more, but do it. That reminds me of another thing. If you're 50 or 52, your children are still studying, remember one thing, you're teaching your children how to fly. So one day when they take off, don't feel bad. It is your job. Okay, last 25 years of their lives, you've seen them do. You have told them whether they can go for parties, not go for parties, how they should study, whether they should study, what they should do. You have done all that. Now is the time for you to test how strong are their wings. Are they flying off? So you could have got your daughter married and your daughter has gone abroad. Maybe she's in Dubai, so you can visit, or she's in US, so when she decides, only then you can visit, right? So all those things will happen. But if you have taught your children to fly for so long, don't be disappointed that they're flying, right? That was the purpose. You raised them for flying. So whether it is your son going away or your daughter going away, just rejoice that, because that was a job for which God entrusted you with those kids, right? Start talking to people. I think this is very important. Start talking to people with whom you don't have a great relationship, or you didn't have a great relationship. See how it is panning out. Go and say, मैंने तुमको माफ किया, I've just excused you, right? So you don't have to say it loud. Open the window. If your parents, if you had some misgivings with your parents and your parents have died, just open the window and make sure that it comes out loud that you have forgiven them. The forgiveness is for you, not for them, right? So somebody with whom you don't have a good relationship because of business, tell him, look, business is over, let us continue the relationship. So some of these things you can do. Write your own saying, these are the 10 things that I want to do in retirement. Have a good gratitude towards God and towards everybody else, right? So some of those things, all that you want to do, make a list, make sure that you start doing. Don't wait for that one particular 1st of January or something like that. Doesn't matter. Every day is the beginning of a new year for that something which you are starting. Just remember that. But retirement is good fun for me. It's not really fully retired, so I still do some 2-3 days of work in a month, or maybe 6 days of work in a month, which is damn good. Lets me think about reading, writing, shooting videos and all this. This is fun for me. This is not work. Incidentally, I also make money when you click on those ads. That's a different thing. But when I started this, I was just I had only one aim of saying, okay, if I know something about any subject, let it come out in a video. That's about all. There's nothing. I got tired talking to regulators, mutual fund houses, insurance companies, banks. Everybody said we should do something in financial literacy, and the way they do it did not attract me at all. So remember the first point: with whom to work, how much to work, how long to work, whether to work. When you're financially free, you have all those choices. Exercise it. Thank you.